good afternoon everybody, and thank you for tuning in and welcome to our CraftTV. We've got some fabulous things for you. We've got a back in stock show. So we've got, look on the website because there's going to be a lot in this show. So we're going to do 3 demos. I will try and fit all 3 demos in, and then we'll recap all the things that we've used as well. So we're going to keep you informed about where it all is and what we're using. So to start off with, our back in stock is our Douglas. So we've got two dies with Douglas. He is normally $12.99. Our Robin's Nest members come down to $11.69. And remember, if you're not a Robin's Nest member, get that in your basket first and get these deals. Our second one is, oh look, fabulous Oscar. Isn't he beautiful? Again, 2 dies. Our normal price is $6.99, and our Nest members are bringing that down to $6.29. And then Oliver Duke. Now, isn't he majestic? He's adorable. Again, 2 dies. Normally $6.99. Nest members coming down to $6.29. And all of these you'll find on the website. Again, the next one is a Little Gathering. Now, this is a really interesting die because it says 1 die, but it's actually a Swift. So you're going to get all of those die cuts in one pass. Our price is $14.99, but our Nest members are going to get that at $13.49. Another Gathering. So these are different. Again, it's on a Swift system, and this is $14.99 coming down to $13.49. And again, that's for our Nest members. Then we've got our New Home. Now, I think this is one of the more versatile dials, or most versatile that we've got, because obviously we've got all our birds in our collections. So this is fabulous. Again, our 3 dies in this one, so it's not just on its own. It's $8.99, but our Nest members bring it down to £8.09. Then we've got the Twisted Ferns, and I think foliage is always a must again with our beautiful florals that we have. 2 dies, $9.99, coming down to $8.99 for our Nest members. Then we've moved on to heathers, and again, beautiful. But remember, on our website, the heather isn't just the lilac, the purple colour that you can see. There are many downloadable colours to go with that one. So our usual price is $8.99, coming down to £8.09 for our members. This must be one of my favourites. It's our toadstools. So we've got Toadstool Mushrooms. Again, 2 dies, $8.99. Nest members are £8.09. And then a Drop of Light, this absolutely beautiful daffodil. Isn't she? She's just gorgeous. And again, $8.99, our usual price, £8.09 Nest members. And again, go to the website, that's where you're going to find all of this on there. A Drop of Snow, 2 dies, $8.99 usually, and £8.09 for our Nest members. So there's a lot here. Mr. Whiskers, who doesn't love Mr. Whiskers? Isn't he adorable? So again, 2 dies, $6.99, and coming down to $6.29 for our Nest members. And Cozy Cuddles, oh, aren't they just so sweet? So 2 dies, $6.99, and $6.29 for our Nest members. Now, this is where the Nest membership comes in. So on the screen at the moment, we've got our Nest membership. It's £24 for 12 months, okay? So that's literally just £2 a month. So it's less than a coffee. Our benefits are 10% off all of our purchase on our Highlight website, free delivery on orders over £25. You get early access to our web exclusives. We get a Robin's Nest lanyard. Now, I have to say a really big thank you for all of you that joined us at the NEC, and for all of you that actually came to the stand with your Nest lanyards. It was wonderful to see you. And again, because you got your lanyard, you got your 10% off. So every time you come along to something, it's your lanyard will automatically get you 10% off the whole of the stand. So hello to everybody. Have we got anybody on here? Hi Donna, thank you for joining us. So my first demo. Now for this one, I've created an easel card. Now I've cut into my backing papers, so my scenes. So I've chosen a scene and I've used my fundamental circle dies, and I've just chosen pale blue cardstock, okay? And I've folded that over, cut out my actual card blank, and then I've used my scoring tool and scored just down the center of one piece. So that is then going to create me the base of my actual easel. So I'm going to pop that on straight away, and then we can start doing a little bit of snipping into the actual dies that I'm using for this. On this one, I've chosen to use our Oscar, which is one of our owls, and then our beautiful larger owl, and I'm going to have him stood. I've chosen this because we've got a fence post on here, so he's going to stand on the post. So that was the thinking behind it, my story. Now the offcuts that I'd got from this, I've created my actual stopper. So I'm just going to pop my stopper together, and I've done it in 3 layers. That way I'm going to get a really nice high stopper for it to actually butt up against. And I've put a white mat between the 2 blue pieces. So that is my actual stopper. I'm going to work on the card flat. So let's bring in some of the things I'm going to be using. So I've chosen to use the Toadstool. We've got our beautiful Oscar. Now I've cut a few of these out because I'm going to cut into them and decoupage them. Oh, and look who we've got here. Isn't he beautiful? And then some of my ferns. So to actually build this up, the first thing I'm going to do is decoupage our Duke. So I'm going to choose what's actually going to be at the front. So I'm going to pop a little bit of shape into him, because this usually helps me think about what I want at the front and where I want to snip into him. So I'm definitely going to decoupage his face, and I'm going to do this wing as well, but I'm going to layer him up twice. Okay, I might snip away one of his, where I snip away his feet actually, so let's do that first. So glasses on, and it's so easy to do this. I am literally just finding those tiny little pips, because on all the dies we've got all of that detail. Let me flip that over so I can show you. We've got all of this detail and these pieces on the back, so it makes it really, really easy to snip into things and just chop them away. So I'm just going to snip out his little legs like so, and then cut across, and I'm going to go with the actual snips because I can see them. I know it might be a little bit difficult for you to see them. In fact, let's take off that piece as well, like so, and here. So that is my first layer, okay, my first piece of decoupage. And again, each time I'm going to add a little bit of shape, and we're just going to use my fingers. Have we got anybody with us? Lorraine, hi Lorraine, thank you for tuning in, that's great. I love it when people come along and sit with us. It's like crafting with our friends. So just a little bit of 3D tape, take the backing off, and then on my third layer of Duke, that is going to sit on like so. And again, each time I'm going to shape him, okay? And then on this one, I want this lovely wing. So I'm literally snipping in, and then I'm going to come from this side, and I'm just following those little pips, because the pips and everything, the shading is all there for me it's so easy for me to follow. And now again, I'm just letting my scissors fall to the next. I can feel where they are, and I'm just letting my scissors go along. You might even be able to hear it just click, click, click as it finds a pip. So go all the way around. Let's cut this lovely majestic face like so. So, as I've said, these, while I'm doing the demos, please be having a look on that website or making notes of the numbers and things that you want, because I know you've all been waiting for these back in stock elements so you can add them to your collections. We don't want you to miss out on any of these. So now, again, a little bit of shape. Use my 3D foam tape on the back. And then my beautiful Duke is ready to stand on his perch. So I'm going to decoupage his wing and his gorgeous face. Like so. So that, and I'm actually going to place him on here because I want him standing on that post like so. So I'm going to add a little bit of tape, oops, onto the back. And again, some of this I'm choosing to use my foam tape, but as always, use the ones that you actually really like using. Now I've measured him again. I know I can pop a little extra piece on there because there's a few layers. I know he's going to be a little bit heavy. So I'm going to position his feet that I know I can see he's clinging on to that actual post like so. Now I can bring in a few of my ferns, and again, I'm just going to shape them. All the pieces that should fall out will. Okay, like so. And these I'm just going to use as tuck-ins. I'm just going to add a tiny bit of foliage around those edges. So like that. So I'm going to lift Duke up a little bit and tuck that in just at the base. I'm just adding a little bit of something here at the base. Okay, again, check on our website. Have we got anybody else? Hi, Sophie. Oh, thank you for joining us. That's really nice. So I'm now I've got one tuck behind and this one's going to go in front like so. So I'm building up that definition, that difference. Now I'm going to head over to my toadstool. Again, what I like to do is put a little bit of shape in something, and then it's going to give me, I can actually see where I want to add those extra elements. So I'm definitely going to snip off here. Like I say, I can feel along with my scissors. So that is going to be one mushroom top. And again, just feeling along with my scissors, snipping away. It's so easy to do because the design team have done, the designers, they've done everything for us. They've put all that definition in there already. So now just snip away my foliage, and then that is my next one. And again, every piece that I'm cutting, I'm adding shape to. I'm just curling it with my fingers. I'm just adding that little bit of definition. Whoops. And then finally on this big one. So this is now creating my foreground. And these just are adorable. I think these are fabulous. And I think they're a must-have. When you've got all the scenes and things, these are the ones that you need. These are your fillers and that help you create those scenes. So to add in your mushrooms at the base, at the front of your card, and especially your ferns, they're the tuck-ins. The ferns and your foliage are what show off all of your flowers, because that's what Mother Nature put them in there for, to show off the blooms. Now I'm going to sit this in front of the ferns as well. So again, I'm building it forward. I started at the back with our lovely Duke, and I'm now building that perspective. I'm bringing it all forward. And this is the fun thing. So now you've got to start thinking about what's the story behind this, because obviously we've got our fabulous Oscar that's going to be coming in, swooping in. But because we've made an easel, Oscar doesn't have to be on the top of the card. So I'm going to bring in the mushrooms like so. So we can actually use Oscar. He can be on the top of the card, but he could also be your stopper. So also think of your other elements that you've got. And again, super quick, I'm just going to snip away a few of the pieces to decoupage our lovely Oscar. And I think I'm just going to do his face. So glasses on again, snip away this wing at the back, like so. So that's really easy one. If you keep hearing a ticking noise, that's our heating in here. So I do apologise if it's there in the background. It's just it's a little bit chilly in here at the moment. Then I'm going to snip up here. I'm not going to take all of the wing, and I'm following the lines that are already there. I'm using the snips to actually dictate to me which pieces need to be taken away. Hi Samantha, oh bless you, thank you for joining us. We've got Teresa, oh, Donna, hi Donna, thank you for joining me ladies. Okay. You'll have to forgive me. I won't remember names that if you come on and tell me you were at the NEC, but if you tell me that you saw me at the NEC, okay, so it would be lovely if you did come and visit, if you came to visit us. So now I've got Oscar, and again, I'm going to have him off the card. So I'm looking at where I want Oscar to be. Okay, so he's coming in from the edge, and I'm just going to put a little bit of tape here on this wing and on this wing, solely just to hold it in place, because obviously, so I'm lining him up, I'm having a look where I want him to be. Now I know where I want that tape to go on. So it's just a little bit on here and on that edge. And I'm using my Craftmaster tools, because since I've been given these, oh my goodness, it really is the only thing that I use. All my other tools and my knife and everything have all gone into a different bag, because the Craftmaster ones are fabulous. So now Oscar comes in, he's swooping in like so. I'm going to pop my ferns to one side because they're for another demo as well. And now I can pop on the actual stopper, and that's our easel card. So that's our first demo. Now when I finish this, we're going to recap the ones that we've used, so you can actually pop them in your basket if they're missing from your collections. So now I've popped on that like so, and there we have our beautiful Duke, Oscar, those fabulous ferns, and I just love those toadstools. I just think they're fabulous. They really do make it, again, they're fillers, they need to be in there, they need to be in your collections. So just to refresh, we have got our Oliver Duke that was stood on the actual perch. He's 2 dies, $6.99 and $6.29 is our Robin Nest member. Remember, put that Robin's Nest membership in your basket first, check it out, and you'll be an automatic member straight away, and you'll get that saving. The second one is our Twisted Ferns, 2 dies, $9.99, and we've got $8.99 for our lovely Robin's Nest members. The next one is now going to be Oscar, and he's just adorable. So again, 2 dies for Oscar, $6.99, £6.29 to our Nest members. And then finally, we've got our Toadstool Mushrooms. Again, 2 dies, $8.99 and £8.09 to our Nest members, which is wonderful. So just to highlight the Nest membership again, it's £24 for a whole year, so that's just £2 a month. You pay it all up front in one go, and that gets you the full membership for the full 12 months. You're going to get 10% off all purchases across the website, free delivery on orders over £25, early access to the web exclusive, so you'll get an email prompting you and saying these are coming out, you get the first pickings of them. You're going to get your Robin's Nest lanyard, your lovely little pin badge, any special offers you're going to know about, everything first. You get a fabulous window sticker for your, or even put it in your craft room or on your bag. And then you hear about our workshops and demonstrations first as well. So it's fabulous to be part of that membership. Now your lanyard, if you wear it to the Crafting Lives, because we've got Crafting Lives coming up soon as well, haven't we? If you come along and you're a Robin's Nest member wearing your lanyard, you'll get 10% off including the offers as well. So it's fabulous membership to have. So let's move on to our second demo. Now this one, I've done a little bit different. I've been playing that I like to do the memory books and things like that. So I've had a little bit of a play to try and turn it into like a card instead. Now for this, here's my crib notes, just so you see, I'm all prepared. I've written everything down. So this is going to be the front of the card, okay? So I've chosen inside, let's move everything out the way. Let's start at the beginning. So this is the actual card blank. Now I've written some measurements down here for you. So the whole piece is 8 3/4, okay? And it's 22 centimeters, or it's 7 by 5, okay? So it's 7 by 5 inches. Now what I've done is I've scored in an inch from the edge and then to 7.5 inches that way, and it leaves me with this lovely little skinny spine. So if I turn that over, can you see I've scored those 2 lines, so it's left me a spine, which is what I needed. Then inside I've chosen a actual backing paper, which is going to go inside like so. Then I've mirrored from the outside, which is going to be decorating the front of my card. I've mirrored the same backing paper, so I'll pop that to one side. Now this one, I'll bring it in. It's the same size as my actual backing paper, but I'm going to cut an aperture in this now. So that's what I'm going to do first, and then we can start building it and putting it together. And on this one, I've brought in the snowdrops and things. So on my fundamentals, I'm not going to go for the really big one. I'm going to come in a few dies. Maybe I'll take that one, which is the 4th one in. And I've put on here, see, I had to put my crib notes on. There's no hiding anything from you. It's no camera trickery or magic. It's all there for you to see. I might get my low-tack tape. Now, for the new crafters out there, have we got anybody else that's joined us? We got Teresa, hi Teresa, Samantha, hi, Sophie, Nikki, hello Nikki. Oh, Nikki couldn't get to the NEC. Oh, that's doesn't matter. You can always get to the crafting lives, can't you? So it's wonderful for you to all come out and see us. But I'm here with you now. So again, I've chosen the same paper that's going to make my aperture on the inside, and I'm using low-tack tape. Now for the new crafters, I'm actually going to stick it to my fundamental and to the inside. I'm sticking it to the piece of card that would probably be scrap. Even though I don't throw mine away, I do keep them, but it's just to save. I've done this many times before where it's the only last piece of card I wanted. I've put it on the outside, taken the tape off, and I've ripped it, so I've made a mess of it. So that's why I actually put it on the bit that I'm going to throw away. So pop this through the machine. While that's going through, I'm going to put some tape on this, because this is the front of our card. Capture that out like so. So now I have an aperture, and I can just pop that to one side. I will rescue that circle at the end. So now you can see our aperture matches perfectly. I'm going to mount this on foam tape. Now I've got this little spine here. That's why I've created the spine, because I wanted to be able to create that definition and height, and I'm only putting tape on the edge because again I want to be able to tuck in around this aperture and use it to its full advantage. So I can have things tucked in, I can have things on the outside edge. It's giving me more. So now we're going to put the basic of the card blank together. Okay. So at the end, when it's actually put together, it just creates a 7.5 by 7.5 inch card. Okay, they're the actual square measurements. So that is my card blank. Okay, I just left that inch overlapping. Now if you don't like to be able to see your workings, you just need to cut another 7.5 by 7.5 piece of card to cover over your workings at the back. Then I'm going to mount our aperture that I've just cut. Again, I've used my 2mm foam tape, but you could use your 3D glue gel if you wanted to. You just need it that you can create. In fact, you could actually create the same card, it just be a flat mat, as long as your tape's on the outside edge and you're still able to tuck things in. So now let's pop this on here, just lining it up like so, and take that away. So now I've got this lovely aperture and I've got all of this space to be able to tuck in now and use all of my elements that I've got. And remember, this is going to be the front of my card. So I'm going to pop the topper together because I'm going to work the topper and the inside of my card together so they kind of match. So the front of the card is that's very, and then the wow element is going to be on the inside, hopefully. That's the plan. So again, I'm just adding a little bit of tape to this, adding a small amount of definition, not too much. I don't want to add masses of weight to the front of my card, solely because then I don't want it to be tumbling over when it's on a mantelpiece. So that's my front piece as well. So I'll bring this in. Then we have, this is lovely. We have our bumblebees home, and again I'm just going to do a little bit of snipping. Then I have used a little gathering and another gathering, and these are the two that I remember I told you that they're on a Swift. So let me just bring, these are all my cuts. So this is a little gathering, so you're going to get the owls. Let's pull these out and show you. So in here we've got lots. We've got Oscar. So again, we've got Oscar, but look, we've got Oscar in lots of sizes. So we could put Oscar right in the distance because he's the little one, and then bring him into the foreground. So we've got all of the, what I call the triplets. Look, we've got Duke again, but again, they're all scaled down. I've got a sneaky tractor that's snuck in there. He's not on there. And then we've also got Benji Bunny. So that's on a little gathering. And then the other one is another gathering. So let me just move those to one side. In this one, we have then got the additions of the geese. So we've got Kingsley and Merryweather, and we've got Little Fluff, and we've got Belle. So, and again, they're all in different variations. Have we got anybody else joining us? Oh, Teresa. Oh, bless you. I've got people helping me as well while I'm on here that are going to be answering your questions. So I think it's Andrew and could it be Diane that's out there? Sarah. Sarah's with us. Hi, Sarah. Lovely Sarah's answering our questions as well while we're demoing. So now we are going to just snip away some of the branches. So, and these branches are not going to be discarded because they're my extras for my demo. So I'm going to cut that away. And again, so again, I'm building up that definition. So adding in, and I always like to shape things to have a look to see what they're going to look like. So pop this in, drop onto the website. Even while I'm doing this, have a scroll through the website and have a look what's on there, because the backing, it's all about the backing stock, and I know there's lots on there that you've all been waiting for. Maybe it's the little gathering. I know for definite the snowdrops and the fern. I know I've had comments before that you're waiting for those, and the daffodils. Mothering Sunday's coming up soon as well. So snowdrops and the daffodils, I think, are a must in our collections. So let's just build up this one. First of all, my first piece is going on. And again, whoops. Maybe even, I know you've seen me using the our Craft Master tool, maybe even have a look, pop that in your basket because it really is fabulous. Okay, taking this away. So I'm going to bring this in. So first of all, I'm going to have it coming in from the edge. So I'm just going to make sure I want it hanging over because one, I've got my tree in here already. And then on this one, this is going on the front of my card. So I'm now working with both of them. So I'm going to bring in my actual honeybee house, which I think is wonderful. Now again, because remember I said about tucking things in, I'm going to lift that up. I'm going to slide the branch in, and again we've got it overlapping. And then my final one, I'm going to do exactly the same thing again, but I'm having this come from underneath the actual bee hive, like so. So now, out of my little gathering, this is where I can then use, because it's perspective. So he's high up in the tree, or watching what's going off down below. I'm going to have him maybe sat in here. And then we have our other little bunnies. So we've got Blush, and she's shy. She's a little bit shy today. And then I have Benji. Now Benji, I'm just going to do a little bit of snipping into Benji and add a bit of decoupage to him. So I'm going to go around his cute little paws, like so. And again, all of this is in the design. You just follow the snips and the pips. It's so easy to use and it's so much fun telling these stories. Okay, that is then going on here. So we've got our lovely Benji, and we've got Benji's twin. Okay, so first of all, Benji's twin is going to tuck in. He's going to sit inside. And then we have, could be Benji and Bobby, couldn't it really? So they are sat like so. We have Blush, and again just tucking Blush in that way. And then we've got our extras, and these are adorable. Now the actual snowdrops are just so beautiful. They really are. The detail, they're so fine. The design is gorgeous, and I know you're all going to love them because again they're so versatile. So now let's have a few snowdrops, and I'm going to tuck them under, but I'm also having them over like so. This is a good way of being able to use our 3D glue gel because it allows us to do this tucking in, moving things around, because I've not actually set it in place. So in fact, let's snip that off there, pop a little bit of glue on these ones, and I'm using my tweezers, keep my fingers out the way, so I can slide those cut off pieces behind there like so, like that. So our lovely little Blush, bring her forward, and again it's just playing with the detail, playing with the elements that we've got. So that is then there, and now I can use this on my front of my card because like I said, I'm working on both pieces. So I'm going to pop that down like so. And we have our ferns. Now I think the ferns are a must on some of these because they are so versatile. You can tuck them in with all of the florals and all of the blossoms. And again, they're an all-rounder, they're an all-year thing. I know there's on some of our reflections, definitely on when we do florals and we do our actual foliage, on our website we do seasonal ones as well, so you may find that there's alternative colorways on there for you. So I'm just going to tuck in a fern at the back, and then I'm going to have a fern across the front. And again, I'm not doing anything special, just moving it with my fingers, adding that definition. So, have we got, are you all Robin's Nest members? I think to be in the Robin's Nest Club is going to be fabulous. It gives you so much more. So now I can bring that forward like so. So I'm happy with what's happened inside my story. Okay, we've got Benji and his twin, and we've got our lovely blush inside. I've been able to tuck everything in there and use all of the elements. I've got my beautiful blossoms. I'm actually going to go ahead, I'm going to go all out and add a little bit more in here. So this is where we can start telling the story differently. Then we've got our lovely beehive hung up in the top with our owl, and then I can work on the front. So for this one, and that's why I've chosen to do it as an aperture and this spine. So this can sit on the front like so. I'm going to bring in the fern. That can sit and be tucked in again underneath. Got more of this. I like to do all of my cutting first, and then it's going to give me those options of moving things. So I'm going to pop that on there like so. Have we got any other lovely people joining us? No, Donna's. Hi, Donna's. So Donna is actually telling us she's been a nester right from the beginning. So you got big thumbs up there for you, Donna, because I know you've got all of the deals, haven't you? Which is amazing. So I'm happy with that. And I'm going to just still come in with, and let's get another, who else can we have in the tree? We'll have Oscar. And again, remember, this is a little gathering. So look at all these elements, not the tractor Tom. I don't know how he's got in amongst all of that. So let's use a little gathering. Let's put Oscar up here. Okay, and then we've still got our lovely Duke. And I don't think it's very often that you'd find Duke down below, but he is for this instance, because they all get on, they're all friends, everybody friends together. I was looking for my other snowdrops. In fact, I'm going to pinch one of my daffodils from another demo, because look at these, aren't these gorgeous? Absolutely beautiful. And then this will be finished off card. So then that's our second demo, and we're going to run through all of the elements that we've used, because I don't want you to miss out on any of what's back in stock. Oh, look at that, that finishes that off perfect. So that is the second one. So on the front, I've chosen again to mirror what is inside. So we've got the little gathering, and then when we open that up, we've got that lovely design on the inside as well, which is fabulous. So then this could be a memory book. You could turn this into many, many things. You could have a photo in there of a family day out. I just love working with the two red robins. They're just fabulous. So for this one, on this demo, we have used a little gathering, which is one die. Remember, it's that swift system. So you do one cut, and you get all those fabulous cuts in one go. $14.99, coming down to $13.49 for our nesters. Then we've got another gathering. Now this one is where we've got Blush and Merriweather, Kingsley and Bell. And this is again $14.99 and coming down to $13.49 for our nesters. We've got our Twisted Fern, which I think it's just an absolute must to put in your stash. Again, two dies, $9.99 coming down to $8.99 for our nesters. Then we've got shaded corner, and again it's beautiful because remember, snip off that little beehive and it's just a tree, so you can use it many different ways. This is £12.99 coming down £11.69 for our Nest members. A drop of snow, 2 dies, so you're going to get that matte layer with them as well. £8.99, £8.09 for our Nest members. And then a drop of light, which was that beautiful daffodil, and again £8.99 and £8.09 for our nesters. Now, to join our Nesters Club, our Robin's Nest membership, it's £24 for the whole year, so that's just £2 a month when it's broken down. You pay £24 in one go, 12-month membership, and the benefits are fabulous. It includes 10% off all of your purchases within our Highlight website, free delivery of orders over £25, early access to all those web exclusives, so there'll be more of those up and coming on our CraftTV. We've got our Robin's Nest lanyard that gets you 10% off when you come to our stands, and remember, come and see us at the NEC because we'll be there. We've got our pin badge, which is really lovely. It is Pip at the moment. It's a little enamelled Pip. Special offers you get to see first, you get your winter sticker, and also you get to hear about all of our workshops and everything first. So you'll get those emails and things and keep you up to date with what's happening. Have we got anybody else that we've got? Sophie, hi Sophie. Oh, she's loving the owls. Yeah, I love the owls. Anybody else? We've got Carol, got Marilyn, Donna. I think that's everybody new for the time being. Thank you so much. I really love that you come and join us. It is brilliant. So I just want to say, if you go onto our website, the website details. So we've got, it's www.highlightcrafts.com. Okay, so that's www.highlightcrafts.com. Now, while I've been showing the demos and everything, there is a link in there that takes you straight through to the actual website. And then also you can phone through. Now, to phone through, it's 0330 889 338. That's 0330 889 338. Gosh, I think I've got somebody else's teeth this morning. It's a lot of O's and doubles and things in that number. So moving on to our last demo. Now, I've got to say, some of them that are in this have got to be some of my favourites, and we're using Douglas. Now, I know that you were all aware Lemon Lane have just had our Douglas release, haven't we? And he has been sensational. Everybody has loved him. So let's pull out some of these now. Again, I'm working with an aperture, but I've used it a little bit different this time. And we've got Mr. Whiskers. So Mr. Whiskers has come to play in the field with Douglas. And again, I'm bringing in the ferns because that is a must-have, I think, on some of these. Super easy card blank. I've just created my card blank now. I am going to tell you how big this is, if I can find the measurements. We are 20 centimetres by 21 centimetres, okay, and then I've cut 2 pieces. I've put a score line in the back and then just a little bit of tape, so that then creates my card blank like so, just as easy as that. And then I've cut the same size, but I've chosen 2 backing papers that match. And I've done that because I want, again, to create an aperture because of actually doing the tucking in, because I'm going to have our lovely, just forgotten his name, Douglas. Thank you, Andrew. We've got our lovely Douglas. I've been talking about him all weekend at the NEC, tucked in, so it gives me perspective. So I've gone with 2. And all I've done is cut them to identical size, okay? And then I've just used one of my biggest fundamentals to cut a circle. Now, because they were printed the same and I've cut them to the same size, I don't have to worry about finding where it meets up. So that's another tip. If you cut them identical size, you don't have to worry about actually lining up round the edges because it'll fit anyway. So this one, again, I'm putting it on foam tape because I want to be able to do a tuck in. Okay, so all the way around the edge. And use what mediums you actually like. Like I said on the last one, you don't actually have to use the 3D foam tape. If your preference is the glue gel or even sticking it down flat, you can still tuck in on when you've stuck them down flat, as long as you're keeping your tape towards the edge. So then this is free for you to be able to get all your pieces tucked in and around. Okay. So I know our lovely Sarah is answering everybody's questions, and it's just wonderful to have you all joining us, I've got to say. And it really was, again, another great big thank you to you all that came to see us at the NEC and visited the stand. It was fabulous. So now that is my front of my card. Super, super easy. In fact, I've actually got in my drawer some finger lift tape. That's what I wanted rather than the 3D. And this is going on flat. Okay, so all the definition is now going to be about that aperture. Turning this around. So if you're looking for any of these, they are all on the website. They're all down on there as are back in stock. And I know lots of you have been waiting for especially Douglas and things like that, because I know he is super, super popular. So Douglas is going to sit inside there. You see, now I've created that space. But even if I'd only taped flat tape, I would still be able to get him tucked inside there as well. So having that tape on the edges really helps. First of all, I want to build something behind Douglas, so it's going to show him off. So now I'm going to pop in my ferns. So that's going to go behind over the top as well. So again, and now I can bring this forward. So I'm swapping forwards and backwards, and it's going to create a little bit of a wreath for him to nest inside. So take my tape off, and again alternating so I can tuck that right in there. In fact, I'm going to bring it further round like so. And now when I pop this fabulous Douglas in here, that I can't pick up, there we are. So I'm just going to snip into Douglas under his chin like so. Because again, adding that definition, decoupage, that depth to his cards. And we've also added in that depth because we've used foam tape on the actual aperture, which is fabulous. So now, pop Douglas on here. Oops. Line him up, which is obviously is going to fit perfectly. And I want to I want to bring his horns forward like that. So I'm going to put some tape into Douglas, and again it's super easy. Look at all that definition that you can get, and again that is down to the design, that is down to the team that put all of these cuts in so we can add all of this shape. They're very clever, aren't they? We do have a fabulous team. So now Douglas is going to nest in amongst these ferns, and then in amongst the ferns his little friends come to visit him. I'm going to lift that up and tuck Douglas right inside like this. So he's in his field like so. Oh, and look who's come to visit, Mr. Whiskers. And I think they're best buddies. I think they must be. I'd like to think that they are, that they're best buddies. And again, it's so quick to snip into these to make that decoupage. Just like so. And all I'm doing is letting my scissors go to the next piece, and then the next one is going to be Mr. Whiskers himself, his little face, and he's got the most adorable little face, hasn't he? Like so. Anybody else joined us? So again, get on the website, get these deals. These are all back in stock, and I know you've all been super excited and waiting for them because we get all the information and things from you all. So Mr. Whiskers decoupages up really quick, like so. Let's pop his final piece on, and then I'm going to pop a few of our beautiful drop of light. And now, because I've got that aperture, I can sit him on the aperture. So I can bring him in like this, look, and actually sit him on here, so as if he's talking. He's having a little conversation with our Douglas. And then all of this, these are just adorable. I just love these. So just you don't need to go mad. Again, using your finger lift tape, using your 3D glue gel, you can stick all these down flat mats. It's entirely up to you which way you go, because this would be lovely, again, just stuck all down flat without all the decoupage and the actual foam tape. Ah, Sophie, oh, bless you. Thank you, Sophie. Sophie says, Douglas makes a wish. She was on holiday in Scotland. Absolutely. I totally agree with you there, Sophie. He's adorable, isn't he? Can you imagine waking up in the morning and seeing, in fact, one of the ladies at the NEC, one of the stories that I got to share with them was that she was on holiday in Scotland in one of these little cabins, woke up one morning, opened the kitchen curtains, and there was a Douglas stood at the other side of the fence staring in, and apparently he visited them every single day they were there. So I thought that was wonderful. I said, really, he was that close? And she says, oh yeah, he came every day to see us. So now I'm just arranging these beautiful daffodils, and I am going to have to go in with one more fern. So I like to cut lots, so I've got lots to prepare and play with. And then we'll have actually fitted in 3 full demos. Again, keep looking on that website, keep popping things in your basket, even while I'm doing my sticking and gluing. So let's lift that up like so. So we've got some fern behind Mr. Whiskers. And I'm going to do some snipping into my daffodils. I'm just going to take out like so, and again I'm going to take that one off and shorten that, so I can have Mr. Whiskers right down here. And then I'm going to shape it. I'm going to lift that up like so, and that is then our third demonstration. So again, just using simple aperture. And look how fabulous he is. They're having a little confab together. How wonderful. So now we're going to go through what we've used. Just a little recap. We have used our fabulous Douglas. He's 2 dies, $12.99 and $11.69 for our nest members. We have got Mr. Whiskers, how adorable. He's a must-have, isn't he, in our collections. $6.99 and $6.29 for our nest members. We've got our beautiful drop of light, ready for the spring. I know I'm all ready for the spring. $8.99 and £8.09 for our nest members. And then our twisted ferns, which is $9.99 and $8.99 for our nesters. So let's just bring in all 3 that we've used. And remember, these are all back in stock pieces. So there's lots and lots for you to have a play with. Okay. These are just wonderful. Oh, I just love using all what we've got with our robins. Let me stand that up. That's just a small amount of what's on there on the website. So drop onto the website, www.highlightcrafts.com, or call us on 03300 889 338, and we'll just run through again everything that's on the website for you, all of those fabulous back in stock dies. So we've got a new home, 3 dies, $8.99, £8.09 for our lovely nest members. Oliver Duke, now he's just majestic, 2 dies, $6.99 and $6.29 for our nest members. Oscar, $6.99, $6.29 for our nest members. shaded corner. Again, snip into this, take that branch away, make other details. So we've got $12.99 coming down to $11.69 for our nest members. Another gathering. Again, this is the one that's got bell and blush. We've got our fluff in there, and also Kingsley and Merriweather. This is $14.99 coming down to $13.49. We've got a little gathering. This is where we've got our Benji Bunny in there and Pip Scuttle as well. So this is $14.99. Remember, a Swift die coming down to $13.49. We've got the Heathers, and again, remember on the website there's more than one colour. There's going to be lots of colours on there, variations. $8.99, £8.09 for our nest members. And our Toadstool Mushrooms, and these are my favourites. We've got $8.99 for normal and £8.09 for our nest members. A Drop of Snow, again, absolutely delightful. 2 dies, $8.99, £8.09 for our nest members. A must for our spring dies. Oh, look, we've got Cozy Cuddles. Are they sweet? $6.99 for this one and £6.29 for our nest members. And then finally, we have our fabulous Douglas. Look at him, he's wonderful. So again, 2 dies, $12.99, $11.69 for our nest members. Remember, this is where you're going to get most of our deals, and the best value for money is becoming one of our fabulous nest members. So again, £24 for the whole year. For 12, that's 12 months membership, £2 a month, less than a mug of coffee. So again, the benefits are fabulous. You're going to get 10% off all of your purchases across our website, free delivery on orders over £25, early access to web exclusives, and remember, we bring them here on CraftTV for you as well. Robin's Nest lanyard that will get you even more discounts when you come to the shows. Beautiful Pip enameled pin badge, special offers, window sticker, and you'll hear about everything that's coming up within our Robin's Nest Club first. So you'll get those emails sent out to you. I just want to say a great big thank you for, again, everybody that's been to see us at the Nest, at the NEC, joining our Robin's Nest Club and coming to join me for the Craft TV. And I hope to see you all again soon. Bye.